responsibility to the CROs. And CROs are expertise to conduct the study as per the regulatory requirement, as per the submission requirement as well. Like if there is a FDA submission, then the CRO is expertise how to conduct the study as per the FDA requirement, how to conduct the study as per the DCGI requirement, communication, submission part as well. Right? So basically, it means transferring the responsibility, sponsor responsibility to the other company. Right? And we see that there is a sponsor responsibility in the GCP. So all this sponsor responsibility would be transferred to the CRO. Because there is no any specific section in any guideline that what is the responsibility of the CRO. So what are the responsibility of the sponsor? That is the responsibility of the CRO as well. But that will be driven through liability agreement between them. So as per the ICF GCP guideline, section 1.20, a person, so organization CRO could be a one single person like freelancer, or could be an organization or company, might be commercial, academic, or other, contracted by the sponsor to perform one or more of the sponsor trial-related duties and functions. So each trial carry various functions or various process, right? So based on the sponsor specific, project specific requirement, the contact should be developed between the sponsor and CRO, right? So it means it is company or maybe as an individual person. So there are many individual person, freelancer, who are supporting to sponsor for a clinical research work. Like for example, for protocol development, for report writing. So it depends how the contract is developed between them. So what type of CRO? So it could be a drug discovery CRO, maybe preclinical CRO, clinical, could be integrated or standalone. Like integrated means that CRO, big size CRO providing the end-to-end service. So all the service within that company. Or standalone, maybe some of the CRO, they are providing the some of the service like data management or like only statistical analysis. So it depends how big the company is. Laboratory service, like it could be safety laboratory, it could be PK laboratory, it could be bioanalytical, or it could be the ECG or anywhere. So that is also kind of CRO. What are the roles and responsibility? So all the roles and responsibility defined in the ICH-GCP, that is a sponsor responsibility, is transferred to the CRO by default. But out of that, what is the roles and responsibility as a company? So CRO keep a bridge, is a bridge between the sponsor and other stakeholders like ethics committee, regulatory agencies, vendors, hospital. So that create the bridge between the sponsor and the other vendor. The sponsor no need to go with the different vendor or no need to talk with the other ethics committees. So all the tasks is delivered through CRO, right? So just sponsor should be in contact with CRO, and the CRO will be in the contact with all the other stakeholders and to perform the clinical research. CRO support the clinical research service, the pharmaceutical, IS, bioanalytical, medical device, AYUSH companies as well. Support from the study planning, that is planning means that how to protocol designing to the report delivery. So that start from the planning, setup of the study, and day-to-day execution of the study, so handling and supervising and management of its contracted clinical trial. All this activity should be executed as per the agreement between the two parties, that is sponsor and CRO. So for detail, you can refer ICH-GCP sponsor responsibility. Now coming to the service part, what type of service CRO is providing, or it could be integrated or it could be just standalone service, right? So I just highlighted some important point. So that might be an in-detail service for each and every service part. For example, in the data management, this is the important service, but there are a lot of other service belong to data management part. For example, in the project management, service like procedure and logistic, like to develop the SOPs, all these things. Resource allocation, resource management, to recruit the resource as per the project, and liaising between the parties, different parties, as per the requirement. A service like data management, or data management could be an integrated CRO or it could be a standalone. So CRO designing and database designing will be the responsibility of the data management section. Data entry and data validation, that is data cleaning. Database maintenance and archiving. To perform the coding, medical coding of medicine as well as disease, that is adjuvant or ADR. So what are the A or ADR reported in the study that could be coded using dictionary like Mantra, and medication should be coded using the Who Drug dictionary. So that is belong to the data management service. And some security procedure, because data management are using the electronic software, so that should be some security procedure apply into the process. From clinical study management, that is site selection, patient recruitment, study monitoring, and site management. From research compliance point of view, so each and every study should be compliant as per the regulatory requirement. So the study compliance, you can assume that these are the different department within the CRO. So research compliance, nothing is like quality assurance, quality department. They used to support or conduct the audit or support the regulatory inspection after the study. And to ensure the safety and efficacy of the subject, mostly the safety and integrity of the data should be ensured through applicable regulatory requirements. Research education. So without education, without transferring the knowledge of the research activity, it's not possible to deliver the product, fine. So it is continuous process to develop the SOPs for each and every process. So in the industry, so if I want to develop the CRF, I should have the SOP for that. How I will develop the case report form, right? How the CRF would be reviewed by, and which person or which stakeholders will be responsible to review the CRF and would be responsible to finalize the CRF. What are the parameters need to be part of the CRF? So without SOP, activities should not be started. So it is mandatory to have the process in place, SOP in place for each and every activity. Right? And periodic GCP training or other regulatory guidelines training like 21 CFR Part 11, that is for the who are using the electronic system. So that is required to have the training on 21 CFR Part 11. So it is continuous process to educate the all the staff about the study as well as the regulatory requirement. Now coming to the product development planning. So CRO also support for the market assessment, market research. Although there are very few number of the CRO, they are doing the work, but there is a role of the CRO as well. Strategic planning and medical product registration as well. And other is product commercialization, like market research, product launch, product marketing, and product sales as well. So it also help to in the marketing. Statistical methodology, consultation, like provide the input into the protocol, how the study would be analyzed, how the study endpoint would be the analyzed, fine. What could be the endpoint and the safety parameters to be in the study. So that will be done by biostatistician, and they create the statistical analysis plan as well to perform the analysis, the study, and also generate the TLF, table, listing, and figures as per the project specific comment. And nowadays, it is mandatory to submit the CDX package as per the requirement. In case we are having the FDA submission, so it is mandatory to submit the entire set or all the data set into the CDX compliant requirement. Right? So there is additional requirement. It's not mandatory now into the to the DCGI and EU submission, but for FDA it is required to submit the data into the CDX compliant format. From medical writing point of view, they are doing the protocol development, clinical study report preparation, even also prepare the instruction for use for a particular medicine. That is after marketing or before marketing, that writing the manuscript, poster presentation, PowerPoint presentation, and create the white paper for the product. And finally, they are also CRO is also support or get the support from other vendors like electronic software companies. They who are providing the electronic software to manage the clinical trial data, to collect and manage. Drug supply management companies, laboratories, procurement and calibration companies, like you want to buy like a ECG machine, that machine should be calibrated as per the requirement, and DSMB board as well. So they also support to collaboration or liaison with other vendors. So each and every industry or every activity would have some pros and cons, but there is some tool to handle all these things. So what are the pros if a sponsor hire the CRO for the clinical research activity, right? So it saves the time, a lot of time, because sponsor may have one or two study, but CRO would be having the many study, and that staff is well trained, so they know which activity need to be started at what point of time. So ultimately, that saves the time, because that routine activity for the CRO, and that is also low the cost without sinking the profit. And in case of advanced technologies required, like nowadays eCRF is requirement, ePro, that is electronic patient reported outcome. So in this technology evolving time, so it is need to be up to grade as per the technology requirement, especially for the data collection and data management. Right. So sponsor may not upgrade as per the technology requirement, but CRO who are working on many studies, they usually upgrade to the next level technologies. And evolving and complex regulatory requirements, so they aware about how to deal with the regulatory requirement, how we can avoid the regulatory questions or queries from them, right? Before submission and after the submission as well. Reduce the need for staffing or infrastructure upgrade, and it will fasten the clinical trial process. Cons, that is poor quality work, but that could be avoidable if sponsor supervise all the activities of the CRO. That may delay in the commercialization. If there is a poor quality work, CRO need to rework on that, and that will delay the product commercialization of the product, and that is also impact on the financial loss. But it could be avoidable through proper CRO selection audit and close supervision. So it is not necessary that once the project is awarded or once sponsor hired the CRO, then sponsor forget about the study. So sponsor should be with the CRO or supervise the CRO activities on daily basis, so that there won't be any gap or major issue with the product. Right? Yeah, I think I'm done with some insight on the CRO. Thank you very much. I'm happy to answer if you have any questions.
Excellent, excellent, Dr. Dheeraj. Excellent. Very
Thank
nicely explained everything regarding CRO. I'm really grateful to you that after our short notice also you have presented like very nice presentation. I would like to
Thank you, sir.
welcome Professor Madan Thangveluji from UK. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Pavanji, pranam.
Pranam, sir.
Namaskar.
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 Namaskar, sir.
Thank you. Very happy to listen to Dheerajji.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dheerajji, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Yeah.
Very happy to be here. Very happy to listen to you.
We always be happy for here. So our Saturday would be always our Saturday is happy because of this.
How to, Dheerajji, I just want to make one observation here.
Okay.
We have the TKDL, Traditional Knowledge Digital Library, and that has about 300,000 formulations harvested from our Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani formulations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how to shortlist some formulations from here? These are systematized formulations. How to harvest something from there and how to enthuse people to engage in trialing these things. And I think people like you have to provide us that direction.
Yeah.
Because I give you one example of one plant. It's not a complex yoga, as we call it, which is a combination of many herbs and procedures. I give you one example, and that example is of long pepper. One plant, Piper longum, and Piper longum, and one chemical in there, Piper longumin. And Piper longumin is traditionally Piper longum is part of our Ayurvedic formulation for Trikatu, for instance. And within that is one chemical, so there could be many other things also. So when we take this Piper longumin, it is one of the most potent chemicals for killing in an in vitro assay. When we do an in vitro assay, it is the most potent chemical for killing cancer cells.
Yeah.
So this is one example out of, so we have about 7,000 herbs that are used, that are known to be used in our systematized knowledge and also in the folk traditions. And out of the 7,000, I think we may be routinely using about 1,000, 1,200 herbs. And from that collection, I have taken only one example.
One example.
One Piper longum, and from there I have taken only one chemical, which is Piper longum. And we are looking at this big collection. Yahan pe Cambridge mein we have a cancer genomics survey group here, and they keep a collection now of about 1,000 cell lines from different. They have isolated cells from different cancer types, from different ethnic groups, and they keep a library of about 900 plus cell lines. And they can then screen effect of small molecules on these things. They can test for small molecules and see how the cells respond to these small molecules. And Piper longumin comes as very high, very special molecule that has a big effect. Now, how to encourage using organizations like yourselves and academic institutions, how to make a three-way partnership or even a four-way partnership. The three-way is national, where people like yourself who invested a lot of energy, time, money, and you have presented today some high-valued insights about why we must have CROs, how to bring our students into this game, and also how to engage with our Ministry of Manpower and Skills Development and HRD Ministry how to work a scheme at that level of engagement, where we say, okay, we have now an organization like yourself, we have now an opportunity for 10 students to come to do internship. But the funding has to come from the Ministry of Manpower.
Yes.
So you don't put your funding there. You are already giving the platform where they can come, and how we can have a collaborative program at that level where we can train hundreds of students in this space. So, and we have so many Ayurveda universities, and we have so many Ayurveda colleges where there are students who have a vasana, they have an inclination to excel in these spaces. So I feel Pavanji and Vishnuji and people there in Calcutta have given us an opportunity to meet like this and to discuss, make formal presentation. Informally, we can discuss many things. One suggestion, so this is one of the many suggestions I wish to make, is how can we come together as a consortium to look at those kind of activities. When we look at, I'll give you a few other examples. If we look at castor oil, castor oil is supposed to be a very, very important oil for in Ayurveda. And when we look at castor oil, we find some fatty acids that are very important for painkiller activities, so many for disc prolapse, you use these things. And how to bring our students into this environment where you're excited about what you're doing, and you have a mission, you are committed to this. How to give them also this energy, so that they can also enjoy the energy that you are having, and they can also benefit from open up their minds to this area. So this is my humble suggestion, that we engage now a little bit more with people like Pavanji, who's so committed to this work, that we engage with our ministries at the state level. Every state has a science and technology activity council. And in Gujarat, Chaitanya Joshi ji is there in Gandhinagar, who's in charge of some of these things. So Joshi ji is he was previously in Anand at the Gujarat Ayurveda University. He set up a big center there for looking at DNA sequencing, etc. Maybe there is opportunity for a lovely dialogue for all of us, informally, but we can share our wish. Our wish is that we want to train the next generation, and companies like yourself will provide that platform. And we want to train students, but the government has to put the money into paying stipends for students and resources, if there is consumables to be costed. So I think if we as a group come together, we can make a very good case for it. And the reason why I say this is not only because of rich resources. Government has already, the CSIR has the TKDL database, and we have so many houses that are making formulations. Today is the commemoration for Puranik ji, who founded Dudh Papeshwar, and they have their commemoration today, which is going on. And when we go into spaces like Rasaushadis, so much to be understood, But we need the help of well-established CROs like yourselves to take us into that space. I feel what Pavanji has done is bring all of us together onto this platform. And I think we should stay as a group, Darshit ji is here, Parikshit ji is here. They're all committed to this area. And if we stay as a group, I feel in the next 5 years, we will be unstoppable in the world.
Yes.
We will be the global leaders in this space because we have manpower. And if we make one, I call it an army of young people, to help us with this. Nobody is going to stop India from being the top player in that whole space. Today, when we go into the active pharmaceutical ingredients, API area, then only 2 countries are there on the top, India and China, finished. Nobody else is there. And I think with the blessings of Pavanji and Darshitji, Prakashitji, Vishnuji, and all these people who are committed to this cause, if we make a good strategy, in 5 years' time, India will be unstoppable in this space. We will have that same presence in that space. And I feel we can do it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, sir, we can do it.
So that is so Pavanji, thank you for drawing me into this short discussion here. And I can see Darshitji is excited already.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, definitely, sir.
And I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be occupying that space, Darshit.
Yeah, definitely, sir. I 100% agree with you that, this is the right time and this is the right moment for the even global Ayurvedic industry. And what we are into, it is the 100% scientific evaluation of the every single Ayurvedic drugs as well as the compound formulation. And we are having a team of people who are dedicated to betterment of the Ayurveda, rather than just treating it as an industry. We are treating these drugs as a Ayurvedic medicines, because if anything comes to us, we are never taking it just like a medicines. We are thinking like what Ayurvedic content is in it, what kind of ADME it is providing, pharmacological, what kind of absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion. Means if there is amla, if there is triphala is there, then why there is amla, harade, and behada? Why these 3 are combined? What are the basic Ayurvedic principle behind mixing these 3 herbs?
Exactly.
Okay. So we also provide this kind of documentation whenever we design certain studies, whenever we design certain protocols. So so many new players are coming into the Ayurvedic market, and they really don't know much regarding Ayurveda. So I completely agree with you, sir, that we need a consortium. In that consortium, we should have all the players and all the industry experienced people like you and Dr. Pawan Sharma, sir, and Dheeraj, sir, and everyone, Parikshit, sir, that they can guide us young people that, how we should give a very proper scientific evaluation of every single Ayurvedic things. Okay, not only medicines, but there are certain different things like Swasthavrut is there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, sir.
The beautiful thing is, Pavanji, yourself, you all have a good background in Ayurveda. You know what is the darshanas, and you know what is the foundations, you know what is the thinking there, And our thinking is very deep, because it goes all the way to, if we want to push it, we can go beyond the pratyaksh, we can go into the avyakt if necessary. If people push us, then our darshana is so deep and strong that we can push it all the way down to beyond avyakt. We can go into, that is our philosophy, and that is from where the science is coming in.
Yes.
And the other thing, you talked so nicely about Swasthavrit. So Dinacharya, Ritucharya, and the pharmacology of Dinacharya, Ritucharya.
Yes, sir.
The pharmacodynamics in Ritucharya, Dinacharya. These are modern medicine, modern pharmaceuticals don't understand. So my feeling, again, I'm repeating what I said, is we must stay as one group where we can discuss informally, but we must also maintain competition between the groups. So when we come together in a forum like this, we are discussing openly everything.
Yes, sir.
And then we must give every partner, every player, their opportunity to evolve also independently. So we are not interfering with each other, but collectively we are a group.
Definitely.
And that is I give you this example here. I am coming to you today from Cambridge, here in this city. It is an old city. The university was established 18 800 plus years, about 820 years. It is running nonstop for 820 years. There are 31 colleges here. So in this small city with only under 200,000 people, we are 31 colleges. It's an academic factory. You know, we touch the most difficult questions in science. All those concepts of science come out from the small city. Only 200,000 people here in the city.
Sir, I just wanted to interrupt you for a second.
Please.
Because today my topic will be academic research organization versus clinical research organization.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I think I was also just want to tell that we have to start, or we have to put our foot from the academy, because they are the future. So
Absolutely.
we have to give the knowledge, all this knowledge to the student.
Absolutely.
And they can start from
Yes.
there.
So already
I have talked enough. I have so much more to talk about. Pavanji knows I talk non-stop. So I'm going to leave here and
so
leave.
Yes. So let me have Parikshit sir now. Sorry, let me have Dr. Pawan Sharma ji again, because he's the moderator. I again come into the role of moderator and I took over the charge from Dr. Sharma sir. But Parikshit sir is the next one. Okay. And we would like Thangavalu sir listen more from you. Okay, I don't know how we get your more time. Okay, but let me quickly start this session. On the trick again. Okay, after me, I will have again 10 or 15 minutes from you. Okay,
Thank you. My apologies for breaking the flow here. Pavanji.
Yes, sir. Pawan sir, you are on mute. I have taken a charge from you to moderator. Please, sir.
So I would like to call now Dr. Parikshit. Today we conducted our 198th webinar on Kaviraj Gharana. So Dr. Parikshit is also one of from Kaviraj Gharana. He is of 14th generation of Ayurveda Kaviraj Gharana. His father, Dr. P.K. Devnath, was a renowned dignitary of Ayurveda. His grandfather also, like this 14th generations, right from Gananath Sen to Jamini Bhushan Rai, we conducted one session today morning. So I would like to call Dr. Parikshit Devnath, MD, MPhil, MD from Karnataka, MPhil from Bangladesh, and now Managing Director of Ayurvedic industry also. He is producing a range of Ayurvedic medicines and sanitizer, and he is conducting clinical research also in MedPharma CRO, a group constituted before 22 years. So I would like to welcome Dr. Parikshit Devnath. His presentation will be shared by me.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma, sir. I'm very much overwhelmed to be joining this session as a speaker. I am also thanking all the dignitaries present in this webinar, and the webinar series conducted by Dr. Pawan Sharma and making it a big success. So already our first speaker has already given some insight onto contract research organization, and I will also be not taking that much more time. Just I want to convey some things which we are at presently doing. For that, we need to know, if the question arises, what is CRO? So everybody knows what is CRO, but from a different perspective, I want to share that to know a CRO, we have to understand the drug discovery process. See, basically the process of drug discovery, testing, and eventually getting approval for selling a drug is a long and continuous process. So let's just see the different phases or stages in the which takes the drug to come to the market and given to the patients. So basically there are 4 stages in the drug discovery process. First is the research and development phase. It almost takes 3 to 6 years. Here drug development begins long before the clinical testing starts, where we identify the target population, what is the drug we want to work on, and what the effect of the drug will be. Then if it's a herbal compound or if it is a modern allopathic synthetic compound also, we have to screen different and thousands of compounds among them. And for a Ayurvedic formulation, if you are looking for, then we'll have thousands, tens of thousands of compounds which we must screen and find out the active principle, active ingredient. Then we have to find out which compound we need to test for the which particular disease you want looking for. Then after that comes the preclinical phase studies for the preclinical phase, and that is almost a phase which takes 1 or 2 years like that. Here we do in vitro studies, in vivo studies, and why here we make up the standards. We make the quality and standard protocols, and according to that we go ahead with it. And next comes the phase for the clinical trial, which may last for 4 to 7 years, like the phase 1 trial, phase 2 trial, phase 3 trial. After that goes to the review and approval phase. Its evaluation is done from the evidence from the trials. Then once approval is received, it goes for the manufacturing process. After manufacturing, it goes to the market, and then there is post-marketing surveillance also. This process is also done. So it's a long process for a drug to come to the market. So as our previous speakers have already told, I'm not going into details, that CRO is an organization which provides support to the pharmaceutical and biotech and medical device industries. At present in India, there is another big industry, that is the AYUSH industry or the Ayurveda industry, and which is going global. So what are the aspects of CRO? See, there is a growing reliance of the sponsors on contracting out part on the work to the clinical trial or contractors. Because manufacturers often find that they cannot organize every clinical trial detail and what are the requirements and everything. That's why they give the trial to a contractor, which is a CRO. And the areas which include in the farms are the formulation development, stability programs, pharmacokinetic studies, biostatistics, data management, and all. So if we go through an overview of the CRO, traditionally in the industry it is viewed as which is having unacceptable risk because lack of confidence in its terms and of the qualification, experience, and capabilities. Previously, these things were happened. Now, the modern view is that it needs more core area selection. Designing of the study is important. Selection of the CRO is an important factor for a sponsor. And the list of CROs is developed based on the sponsor needs, the range of services provided by the CRO, the therapeutic area of expertise of the CRO, and the compatibility with the sponsor. These are the qualifications of a CRO needed to act as a CRO. So if we go on a statistical view of the present scenario, the business company research with the outsourcing CRO says that outsourcing to CRO is expected to grow at a 7.5% rate by the end of 2019, and the market seems to grow till 2020, have a value of 44.4 billion globally. And by 2025, it is estimated that the CRO market will reach to a whopping $54.7 billion. So there is a concept or the new model coming up, which is the ARO and CRO model, which can be a model serving clinical research. So I'm just going to the short because I know Darshit ji is going to present in brief for this next presentation of the ARO and CRO model. So basically what I wanted to say is that to have a comprehensive research, both the contract research organization and the academic research organization should be a integral part, and they should work collaboratively to have a better understanding of the subjects, better results, and both can have a collaboratively get a market share, and it's for a business proposal. So just if you see a difference between contractual research organization and the academic research, that CRO is a professional, whereas ARO is scientific as well as professional. CRO is a very professional, ARO is independent, ARO is also independent, CRO is dedicated, ARO is little bit of dedication and assistance to sites because research there. CRO puts more attention to details to everything. CRO is business oriented, and in terms of economical things, CRO is a bit expensive because it's always a private organization, whereas ARO is cheaper because sometimes it's a funded organizations or government organizations, and also they are having private public partnerships. So the next is that what will be the benefits of working with the CRO? In simple languages, it saves human and material resources, saves money, saves time, and big data can be generated, and which can we get access for academic research also, for funded research also, and for business purpose research also. So now I like to come to a what you can say, a business model what at present we are going through. Dr. Pawan Sharma is the torchbearer for this process of what you can say, initiatives. So in Kolkata, basically previously which was Calcutta, the National Pharmaceutical Consultancy Services started as a contract research organization, and it has been running since 20 years, more than 20 years. And we have done many research projects from the industry that may be nutraceutical, food industry, AYUSH industry, all types of projects we have undertaken. So our one-stop tagline is that we are unique and reliable and affordable one-stop solution for the pharma research. And we have a multidisciplinary team doing all the work together, from phases of drug development to provide any sort of expertise. Basically, we have completed around 120 clinical and preclinical studies, and those are all compliant with the GCP and other government standards. Because see, to have a solid step in the pharma research industry, one thing is important, that people put effort, every industry sector put effort in it, but to do some work from heart is a challenging thing. And if we do something from the heart, and if it is a research that should be done from the heart, that will provide dividends. See, our management consists of the founder and the MD, Dr. Pawan Sharma, sir, and I am just part of it as a family, as a general manager. So what the services we provide, that first is the clinical research services. So to get the new therapies, who need them as quickly as possible, we research as efficiently as possible, from finding the right patient to operating in locations that suit them, and we put our hearts into doing what we are doing, and we are good at that. Next is outsourcing services. Also, we provide outsourcing services, and we have an entire portfolio, and we can develop an outsourcing model to fit the task of the sponsor. And with 2 decades of experience, we are have a group of medical communication services, and which ensures that the products benefit from insightful conveyed data and which are communicable and communicated in excellence. Uh, Medical affairs, we try to innovate and aspire to the front line in updating the way the remedies are advanced and ultimately deliver them to the patients. Uh, Data sciences, that is also an important factor, that in today's scenario, regulation sanctions is not the completion of the drug development process. It is just the start. We provide a custom-made approach and plan to help get fit for the purpose of data understanding that we need. Now, these are the compliances and new drug and clinical trial policies according to ISC, GCP, and WHO. So our clinical practice is ISC, GCP compliant. We also do multi-center trials, and we have a ready pool with diverse profiles. We provide and innovate study designing and tools according to the particular need of the study or the drug or the product being tested upon. We have a quality assurance team who monitors and sees that the proper quality is delivered. And also the data transparency and traceability is also an important factor. We have a motto that data will be transparent and it can be traceable. And we are in collaboration with some independent central laboratories. We are in collaboration with some academic institutions as well as universities. And also we have started some courses like in clinical trial certificate courses with our CRO, which I think should be a great help to the budding researchers who needs to have a thorough knowledge of clinical trials and other protocols related matters. So as in our CRO, we have a quality assurance and determine that research services are in par with the patient's expectations. And we provide services from AYUSH sector to food industry to biopharmaceutical clients and other industries also. And for our clinical research facilities, from the first staging of planning to preclinical studies and early phase like bioequivalence studies, early product development, phase 2A proof of concept, late phase studies like phase 2 and 3, phase 3B, phase 4, post-launch data operations, which include clinical data management. We support everything, even we provide trial logistics. So it is all under one roof. And for a trial, the important factor is planning. So we have a group of developers, scientists, and doctors, and pool of other resource persons whom we work together as a team. And as we know that a single person can do a research, so it's a collaborative effort, and we have good collaborations with other industrial persons, academic persons, and persons from different fields. So product development should be prompt, as you know, it's lots of money on stake. So our development process is very prompt, and we strive to do it as fast as possible. We have a clinical pharmacological modeling simulation process, and we do clinical studies, pharmacological studies, and everything also. We also provide for the bioequivalence studies. As I already discussed, the preclinical studies from in vitro to in vivo studies, we all provide everything. So I'm going to skip all these things because these are all everybody knows. Another thing I want to share that, see, the planning, execution, reporting, and interpretation submission, these are the important parts of a CRO function. So we are having the right experienced people for the right experience work. The next is medical writing. That is also an important factor. So we provide all kind of solutions regarding medical writing, and our team is having experience and skilled who define prioritize with reports and required to comply with the medical regulations and a multitude of other regulatory guidelines. And we have an effective drug development program which necessitates high quality medical writing. So these are the process by which communication and the science of drug development happens, like in phase 1, early phase, phase 2, phase 3, late phase, and post-marketing phases. As I already discussed, clinical trial logistics and supplies are also is also done by our company. These are the services we provide, clinical services, that investigator drug brochure preparation specific to natural products, because at this moment the natural product industry is a booming industry worldwide, and in India there are hundreds of pharmaceutical natural products industries of pharmaceutical industries which develop natural products, Ayurveda products, AYUSH products. So it's a high time for them to get along with the CROs to standardize their products and have a quality product which will be acceptable worldwide. We specialize in protocol writing skills, efficient in case report forming and allowed audit trail, multilingual concept forms, at this all patient safety rights, all these are things are kept in mind. Site selection is an important thing. We initiate everything and we did investigator meets. Our investigators are GCP trained and they are regularly updated. So all these things we go through, and also we have a group of person who is particularly trained in biostatistics. So statistical parameter is a very important, because as we all know, we do a research work and we do not do the test properly or statistical test properly, then the whole study is wrong. So importance of biostatistics should always be kept in mind, and we provide those kind of statistical services. Biostatistics teams have those expertise to comply with the norms and everything. As I have already discussed before, scientific writing and everything we are doing. Quality control and standardization of herbal actives are very much important aspect at this present moment, since in India previously the drug regulations were not that much strict, but at present day it's getting stricter, and the companies or manufacturing units needs to be GCP compliant, and they need to have a quality control and
Your voice is not coming, doctor.
I think
with the clinical trial protocols along with them. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are now.
Yeah. Pawan sir, next slide, please. Please go to the conclusion slide. I'm done all with that. In conclusion, I would like to say that CROs bring numerous benefits to the pharmaceutical, biotech, and healthcare industries. With reduced cost, companies and organizations get a final product and quality of which higher than it would have been if the process were not outsourced. So with this, I like to conclude and thank you to the organizations for giving me opportunity to perform in among you all dignitaries, and thank you all once again.
Thank you, Dr. Parikshit. Nicely explained regarding CRO. and Med Pharma CRO also both. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you very much.
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now I would like to request Mr. Darshit Joshi, CEO Pharmadocs. He is very active here in India, having relations with 20 countries, more than 20 countries of Hindustan Liver. So I would like to welcome my son, Darshit Joshi.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much to providing me this opportunity. And I'm very lucky to, have this opportunity and share my thoughts with all the dignitaries. Let me share my screen first. So today we are discussing on role of CRO. And just a minute, sir. I might have to stop this share and reshare it. Yes, sir. This is it. So the screen is visible to everyone, right?
Clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Pawan Sharma sir, again for providing me this opportunity. And today we are, discussing on role of CRO in clinical research, particularly in Ayurveda. So I would lay out the agenda that today I will introduce you that what kind of things we are doing and what resources and capabilities we have. The role of CRO, that is the basic thing. The ARO versus CRO or ARO CRO mixed. We can say kind of a mixed research organization. We can do that thing, and clinical data management is the last. Okay, so we Pharmadocs Clinical Services are basically having the single motto, ancient science with modern aspects, because what we are trying to prove is to the modern scientific fraternity and the society that our ancient science is not only ancient science, but it is having all the modern parameters can be served, and we can also evaluate and kind of confirm that all the parameters which is right now modern, we can fulfill those too. Okay, so my company is kind of a regulatory management company established in 2017, but we were working since 2009. But we have shifted our headquarters to Ahmedabad. Earlier, I was in a different part of the India as well as abroad. Okay, and now we have started the clinical trial management also along with the data management and clinical services, and we also bound with the GCP and WHO and ICH guidelines. So this is the basic thing that what we do in clinical services phase 2 to phase 4, data management, biostatistics and programming, BAB studies, medical writing, regulatory submission and approval, GCP training and corporate training for the industries. Today, let me come to the points. It is role of CRO. As we all know that being a CRO, our basic thing is sponsor. Like if sponsor is requiring any of the products which they have developed or in a developing stage and want to do a clinical research, then they approach to the CRO. Now CRO is the facilitating body or the facilitating agency to the sponsor. As sponsor is, they are busy in developing their products. What is their basic thing is to produce a new drugs or develop a new formulation or design a new formulation. So they are not very much capable to do the clinical research of the products because they are very much expertise into developing the products. So they reach to the CRO. Now CRO is the reach to the competent authority, ethical committees, and the centers. Okay, in that centers, they will do the foundations of this clinical research protocols and the project. They will do the legal things of that thing. Okay, they will design and develop the clinical research project in a manner that it will finish into the timelines, and it will have all the submissions and all the tasks completed by the meantime. So now again, sponsor will have now that there will be two different parameters which I wanted to draw your attention, that sponsor can go to the academic research organization or the clinical research organization, or sponsor can do by themselves also. They can have three different varieties where they can reach, but sponsor will always try to find the solutions. And we always by ourselves also, we want a one-stop solutions, but sponsor do have a two different kind of research organization, where one is the academic research organization and the second one is contract research organization. Thank you, Parikshit ji, because you also taken up this subject, but then you wrap up quickly, and I will do the little more explanatory in this particular subject. Okay, so here regulatory agencies is also what we can say, it is connected along with the data safety and monitoring board, but in academic research organization, steering committee is the key, while in contract research organization there will be ethical committees. Okay, so as you can see in the image, sponsor have the two different academic ARO and CRO. CRO is having site selection and monitoring and trial database management and statistical analysis, while ARO can do the data management, statistics and publication, and along with steering committees driving them to and fro. Okay, now if I comes to ARO CRO, okay, you all knows these things, but this is for the industry who interested into clinical research and they don't know certain things. So we are educating them. We are sharing our knowledge to them, because sometimes what happened that our sponsor used to say that in that industry or in that university or in that clinical, in that academical institute, they are getting certain kind of codes, they are getting certain kind of design and development. So here we want to discuss related to this ARO CRO. If an academic PI like needs some help to manage his study, he can ask to clinical research organization or to academic research organization. Where what are the CROs? First of all, if we go for the definition of the CRO, a company that provides support to the pharmaceutical, biotechnological, and medical device industry in form of research services, biopharmaceutical development, biological assays development, commercialization, preclinical research, clinical trial management, and pharmacovigilation. Now, again, in pharmaceutical, biotechnology, and medical device, now we are having food and cosmetic. It's different industries that we are catering. Okay, earlier there were only three industries, particularly pharmaceutical, biotechnological, and medical device. But now we are having cosmetic and food. That is a new industry that comes into the market, and everybody is looking for that industries to get cater, and they also require the scientific evaluation for their products. What are the CAROs? An academic or non-profit organization provides supports mainly to the academic principal investigators in the form of research services, biopharmaceutical development, biological assay development, commercialization, preclinical, clinical trial, and pharmacovigilance. So these are the basic difference between ARO and CRO. CRO basically do the clinical research for the industry which are already into the market, or who are particularly industry, pharmaceutical industry, where academic is providing supports to the non-profit organization and the academic. But we have merged these things in a different manner, that now ARO is also doing the support clinical research trials for the industries also. But how we can manage these things, that is the things to be discussed, and that is the things to get some solutions out of it. So this what we propose, that there should be a ARO CRO models. Okay, that kind of that models can offer a mechanism for improved academic leadership and oversight in industry sponsored clinical trials. So we can do because we are having so many academic people joined in our webinars, and also we are having more people who can go to the academics and also can pitch our voice over there, that there should be a ARO CRO model where we can offer a mechanism for improved academic leadership and oversight in industry sponsored clinical trial. CROs and AROs are increasingly being utilized to conduct clinical research trials that are pivotal to providing the data to the FDA that will use to decide if the drugs and or device is safe and effective to approve the human use. That is what CRO do. The ARO provides academic meetings, that is DS, MBS, steering and leadership committees such as Atlas Group, with an independent infrastructure to verify statistical analysis and conclusions regarding safety and efficacy, whereas CRO provides infrastructure for efficient trial execution, site monitoring, and data management. While ARO, we can say that they are having their own independent infrastructure, while in CRO, we are having, a government body who controls us. Like if we are having ethical committee also, it is provided by, it is under the constitution, under the law, and under the rules and regulation of the government. We cannot, go beyond our own things. Okay, we have to abide to certain laws and regulations. The clinical research trial are expensive and time consuming and have to be conducted so that they are adequate and well controlled. This is the basic fundamental that every industry is looking for, that why do they have to do the clinical trial. When pharmaceutical companies delegate the management of clinical trials to either CROs or AROs, they still remain the legal obligation to ensure that their trials are safe and well conducted. Okay, the sponsor is the main, but in CRO, what happened that we do the legal formalities also, and we concluded those formalities on behalf of sponsor also. While in academic, they might have faced the consequences of doing the same thing by their own. Sorry, this is the hazy image, but I just wanted to highlight that pharmaceutical industries are into the drug and asset development, drug supply and marketing, while CRO is into the site management, site training, on-site monitoring, drug supply process, management of biological supply samples. ARO is into the trial design, data management, IDMCs, statistical analysis, reporting and publication, where we can all comes to the role, while CRO do the regulatory affairs for the pharmaceutical industries, while ARO can do the scientific concept and protocol development for the pharmaceutical industries. Okay, and CRO and ARO together can do the site selections and everything. Like if the ARO is not having the sites, then CRO can comes and help, and all three together can do also a study conduct. So this is just a proposal that if we can work on this particular thing, then we can connect with so many universities, so many institutes, so many academic research organization and institute to work along with the CRO and build a better development for that. Why CRO? I would say that about 90% of sponsors use CROs because the sponsor specialty is creating the drugs. As I said earlier, that sponsor is basically, they are having the capability of providing the quality products. They have the guts, and they have the dare to develop a different novel drug delivery system for the human being, and for particular some of the disorder or the disease. So I would again say that sponsor specialty is creating the drug and developing new products as well as better treatment. Their expertise is not necessarily in managing clinical trials and submitting studies to the FDA for reviews. That's where CRO comes in. So this is the clinical data management. We all know that clinical data management, done by the milestone from protocol training to database cleaning and audit and database lock. Okay, so this is all the system, how the system works into the CRO. That first of all, we do the protocol training, we start the study of meeting, we do the data management plan, we do the CRF development, we do the CCG development, we do database specification and annotations, we do edit check and specification. Then we go for the database designing and programming. Okay, once the database is released, then we do the training, data entry by the site, source data verification, data review and discrepancy of management, medical coding, external data recollation. Then we do the QC. Okay, so QC checklist. After that, database is again audited, we locked it, and then we release it and submit it to the concerned authorities. So CRO, let me tell you again, CRO is basically a QA QC agency. Okay, we highly abide with our quality assurance, we highly abide with our quality control checks, we are having the expertise, where a sponsor is, we don't say that they are lack of the expertise, but they are having their expertise into the development and design of the products, while our expertise into the development design of the clinical research. I will again thank you, Dr. Pawan Sharma sir, for providing me an opportunity to provide my views and my thoughts to everyone. Okay, thanking you, and it's over to you, Pawan Sharma sir.
Excellent, excellent. Nice, Darshit, very nice.
Thank you, sir.
I am observing Dr. Rajiv Korele. Welcome, Dr. Rajiv Korele ji. Welcome.
सर प्रणाम आपको बहुत बहुत।
हरिओम हरिओम, नमस्कार नमस्कार राजीव जी। आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
सर जस्ट 1 मिनट सर, अभी 1 मिनट अभी।
आपके बाद मैं आग्रह करूंगा आदरणीय प्रोफेसर मदन तंगवेलू जी से, और फिर कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स के लिए विष्णु प्रसाद शर्मा जी से। लेकिन मैं चाहता हूं, आप भी क्लिनिकल रिसर्च डील करते हैं, 2 शब्द आपसे भी उचित रहेंगे। पीसी शर्मा जी जुड़े हुए हैं भोपाल से, मैं कंफ्यूज नहीं हूं तो पीसी शर्मा जी भोपाल से ही जुड़े हुए हैं ना? क्या मैं अब तक मेरी आवाज पहुंच रही है? डॉक्टर पीसी शर्मा जी फ्रॉम भोपाल, डायरेक्टर आयुष।
He might having some issues, as I can see that he is into the room but unable to use the audio and video mode. So
he is right from the meeting. I welcome him.
Yes.
Yes, he is in right from the starting of meeting.
Yes, sir. But he might facing some issues technically over there. He joined it, but he is not able to use the audio or video of
I
this.
welcome him and thanks him for joining.
Yes, sir.
If he will be able to communicate something, I will be grateful to him. So I am requesting Professor Madan Thangvelu sir to guide us.
Thank you. I think Rajiv ji कुछ कहने चाहते हो? राजीव?
हाँ जी।
राजीव जी नमस्कार।
सर मैं ये इतना कहना चाहता हूँ कि आयुर्वेद में जो CRO का कंसेप्ट है, ये तो सारी दुनिया में मतलब सारी पैथी के लिए है, लेकिन आयुर्वेद में इसके बारे में लोगों को अवेयरनेस नहीं है। तो इसका प्रचार प्रसार बहुत अच्छे ढंग से होना चाहिए। और आज की डेट में वैलिडेशन के लिए क्लिनिकल जितने भी जो रिक्वायरमेंट हैं वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड की, उन पे आयुर्वेद को खरा उतारने के लिए CRO की हेल्प बहुत जरूरी है। क्योंकि कोई भी चिकित्सक अपने स्तर पर खाली चिकित्सा कर सकता है, लेकिन डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का काम, उसको वैलिडेशन का काम ये CRO ही कर सकते हैं। तो इनको कैसे हम कॉस्ट इकोनॉमिक प्रस्तुत करें, ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है। कि मतलब हर देश में करीब 10,000 फार्मेसी हैं अपने भारत में, आयुर्वेद और यूनानी और सिद्ध और होम्योपैथी को जो डील करते हैं, और उनके ड्रग रिसर्च के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा एक इनिशिएटिव हो सकता है कि CRO को प्रमोट करना और इनको मतलब रिकॉग्नाइज करवाना। तो ये हम सबका एक मोरल और ड्यूटी है कि हम सभी जो है, जो भी नए स्टार्टअप कर रहे हैं या पुराने सेटअप हैं, इनको जो है जनता के सामने, स्पेशली आयुर्वेदिक इंडस्ट्री के सामने लाएं, जो कि मोस्टली 98% जो प्लेयर हैं जो कि अवेयर नहीं है। जी
बहुत सही कहा आपने, बहुत ही सही कहा। इसी उद्देश्य से मैं आपको केवल 2 मिनट में सूचना दे दूं। इमामी की जब हम क्लिनिकल रिसर्च शुरू करना चाहे, मैं 89 में ज्वाइन हुआ था MD करने के बाद जामनगर से। यहाँ का कोई भी आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेज राजी नहीं था
जी,
क्योंकि ये सबसे बड़ा प्रश्न था कि उसका पैसा कहाँ जाएगा। कोई क्लिनिकल रिसर्च के लिए आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेजेस में फंड नहीं था। तो मजबूरी में आज से 32 साल पहले हम लोगों को क्लिनिकल रिसर्च एलोपैथिक मॉडर्न कॉलेजेस में सब में करानी पड़ी। और जब वहां गए तो सबसे बड़ा एक इम्पोर्टेंट CRO का रोल है कि जो क्लिनिशियन है, एक्चुअल क्लिनिशियन, वो इतना बिजी है कि डेटा मैनेजमेंट उसके द्वारा पॉसिबल नहीं है। वेरी सिंपल एक फंडा, तो 30 साल पहले से हम लोगों ने एक मूल भावना सीआरओ की शुरू की, और जो एक आते आते 25 साल पहले नेशनल फार्मास्यूटिकल कंसल्टेंसी सर्विसेज के रूप में डेवलप हुई। 25 साल से काम केवल क्या था, प्रोफेसर वही है, पेशेंट उनके ही हैं, उनको केवल एक फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड करना कि सर आपका डेटा हम रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, डेटा हम एनालाइज करेंगे, वैलिडेट हम करवाएंगे, रिपोर्टिंग हम करेंगे, क्योंकि यदि वो असली में क्लिनिशियन है तो उस पे इन चीजों का टाइम नहीं है। वहां सीआरओ कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर।
वेरी ट्रू।
CRO supports clinician also, CRO supports industry also, and CRO supports CRA also from where? क्योंकि CRA तो एक बहुत नया कंसेप्ट है। अभी तक CRA का काम जनरली पीजी डिपार्टमेंट के प्रोफेसर कर रहे थे। जो भी CRA का काम है, कहीं ना कहीं किसी न किसी इंडस्ट्री हो या नॉर्मल रिसर्च हो, उसमें CRA का काम प्रोफेसर्स की गाइडेंस में हो रहा था, जो अब प्रोफेशनल होके CRA के रूप में हम लोगों के सामने आया है। तो मेरा मानना यह है, मैं कुरेले साहब से पूरा सहमत हूं। आयुर्वेदिक ड्रग मैन्युफैक्चरर एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया का भी मैं वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हूं। तो मैं चाहूंगा कि जैसे आपका वीएपी निर्माता संघ है, हमारी यह बंगाल की आयुर्वेदिक ड्रग मैन्युफैक्चरर एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया है, ये मिलके एक आयुष मैन्युफैक्चरर्स में जागृति का काम करें। इसी के लिए ये जीसीपी सीरीज शुरुआत है। ये सीरीज आपकी है कुरेले साहब, आप जैसा चाहें वैसा हम इसमें कम्युनिकेट करके अपने 10,000 आयुर्वेदिक मैन्युफैक्चररों को एट पार लाके हम किसी से कम नहीं रखना चाहते। जो छोटे छोटे एसएसआई भी हैं वो भी क्लिनिकल रिसर्च कर सकते हैं, वो भी इकोनॉमी में क्लिनिकल रिसर्च कर सकते हैं। करोड़ों रुपए की जरूरत हर एक जगह नहीं है। तो ये सब चीजें यदि हमारी कम्युनिकेट हो जाए इंडस्ट्री पे, तो डेफिनेटली हमारा भारत सर्वश्रेष्ठ है, था और रहेगा।
सर मेरा एक सजेशन है सर, आप लोग थोड़ा एप्रोप्रिएट मंच पे इसको उठाएं कि हर आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेज करीब 550 के लगभग हैं आज की डेट में। तो इनको जो है एक इस तरह से जो नए नए विषय आ रहे हैं और जिनकी वास्तव में जरूरत है, तो इनके लिए एक कैंपेनिंग मतलब एक कॉलेज स्तर पर कंपलसरी कर दी जाए कि जैसे फार्माको विजिलेंस सेल है, ऐसे ही रिसर्च सेल है, तो एटलीस्ट जो है लोगों को अवेयरनेस रहे। साल में कम से कम 6 प्रोग्राम करने के लिए टारगेट दिया जाए, और ये मंत्रालय से ही हो जो कि इनकी गवर्निंग बॉडी है, सो डेट के
आप इसका एक कंसेप्ट बनाइए, हम लोग आपके साथ हैं, हम लोग इसको ऊपर तक फॉरवर्ड करेंगे।
जी सर।
बहुत अच्छा रहेगा ये आपका कंसेप्ट, स्वागत योग्य है।
जी थैंक यू सर, सो नाइस।
और अभी के लिए अगर मैं इसमें आपको इनपुट दे दूं तो हमारे जो आयुष मिनिस्टर है वो भी गुजराती है और हेल्थ मिनिस्टर है वो भी गुजराती है।
वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस,
है ना। तो आप सिर्फ कंसेप्ट नोट दे दीजिए और आप बताइए कि पूरे इंडिया में क्या करना है। हम दोनों गुजराती को जाके मिलके बकायदा उनको समझा के वी विल कन्विंस देम and we will definitely put that into the documentation and put that into the implementation. इसका implementation का जवाबदारी हमारा रहेगा। ठीक है पवन शर्मा सर?
सर हमारे पास सर बीइंग ए प्रोफेसर लोग आते हैं कि सर इसको रिसर्च करनी है, तो मैं उनको कहता हूँ सीआरओ को कोई अच्छा ढूंढिए, तो उनके दिमाग में पहले तो शब्द ही नहीं होता सीआरओ क्या है और कहाँ मिलेंगे अच्छे और रिकॉग्नाइज कहाँ मिलेंगे। तो ये बहुत बड़ा आज की डेट में एक जरूरत है, आज की वक्त की जरूरत है। आगे आना पड़ेगा जो हमारे एस्टेब्लिश जो लोग हैं और जो संस्थाएं।
Understand. So we will do two way. Sorry, Thanguvelu sir, just 2 minutes. Okay. So we can proceed with the two ways. One is as Pawan Sharma sir said that he is also a part of EDMA, that is Ayurvedic Drug Manufacturing Association. Okay. Under EDMA there are every state units are there. Like we are, I'm coming from Gujarat sir. So we are having GAMA, that is Gujarat Ayurvedic Aushad Manufacturing Association. Like sir said that Bengal is also having their own.
ADMAI, our is ADMAI. Ayurvedic Drug Manufacturer Association of India.
Okay. So
महाराष्ट्र वालों की है ADMA.
एडमा महाराष्ट्र वालों की है, एडमा गुजरात की गामा है। तो हम ये सब जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो इंडस्ट्री के साथ जुड़ के इंडस्ट्री के अच्छे के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, सो वी कैन टेक अप द these particular committees or this particular association as the cluster. So they are the cluster already developed, and now along with that cluster, if academic is joining hand with us, we can directly go to the AYUSH ministers. Sir knows AYUSH secretary as well, and he can directly pitch to AYUSH secretary. He is also Gujarati AYUSH secretary. So community power is there now, and we are having 2.5 years where we can use this community power to do certain things for Ayurveda especially. Okay, I don't say this is for the industry, for the development and betterment of the Ayurvedic industries. Because if we are having good medicines, if we are having good practices into Ayurveda, then definitely the result will come out from the consumer end. Okay, as consumer will speak regarding the Ayurveda, because we need these things from the top now. Okay, and from the higher authority. Sir,
एक और चीज मेरी आप लोगों के उससे संकल्प आया है कि अगली जीसीपी सीरीज से हम लोग किसी न किसी आयुर्वेदिक औषध निर्माता संघ को साथ में मिला के ये सीरीज करेंगे।
yes,
Very,
yes.
very nice, wonderful.
बस अगली वेबिनार से कोई ना कोई भी स्टेट का, यदि एक साथ 10 स्टेट भी हमारे साथ आती हैं तो उनका स्वागत है। थंगवेलु सर, आदरणीय थंगवेलु सर।
Pawan ji, thank you. Rajiv ji ki comments. Rajiv ji, thank you for joining us today, and we appreciate your comments today. And I want, before you came, Rajiv ji, we discussed some of these things about putting together हमारी जो बच्चों के वो Ministry of Manpower, Skills Development, or Ministry of Ayush. There are 6 or 7 ministries that can come together in this umbrella. So in Delhi, so we will discuss that. There is a way in which at least 6 or 7 or 8 ministries need to come together to give a good direction for this for the future. Or particularly important in here, जब आप लोग देश में बैठ के इसकी ऊपर बात जब करते हैं, you forget the Ministry of External Affairs, a very important ministry. कि बाहर देश की बाहर जहाँ भी interaction हो, without their guidance we cannot take this. So there are some dimensions sitting outside the country. I am proposing these things. So पिछले बार राजीव जी हमने कहा कि उत्तराखंड में आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी में बहुत काम करना,
जी सर,
बहुत ज़्यादा काम पड़ा हुआ. तो in previous interactions we have said कि जोशी जी है, आप है वहाँ, we have to start some global activities there. Global matlab with the global perspective. Uttarakhand is a very beautiful part of the world, a very important part for the, not only for India but for the whole world, and we need to focus. So आपने जो आज जो बात बताया उसको थोड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी की तरफ से भी थोड़ा वो करें कि वीसी साहब को पकड़ के थोड़ा बातचीत करके कि open up those dialogues early. Achha, the other comment I want to make is the directions in which where we can do these activities. So Darshit ji has, and earlier we have discussed very clearly what is the difference between a CRO and an ARO. We need to rehearse that a little more. That last slide that Darshit ji offered, the Venn diagram, 3 inches, industry, CRO, ARO, and what is the overlap between these 3. This is a very important thing. And I think when we spend a little more time looking at those different elements of within that schematic that Darshit ji has put, we will see how responsibilities can be realigned in that scenario, and that is very important. Because wherever we look, people are frightened. They feel we are encroaching their space. Instead, what we are trying to show is how to open up this space and permit everybody to grow and achieve their fullest potential. Key academic organization, what is your fullest potential? Industry, what is your potential? We are only trying to help you realize your potential. You see, that narrative is we need to put in this thing very clearly. old institutions, Guwahati Ayurveda College, revisit. You know, Vishnuji is here. When we revisit, or Trivandrum Ayurveda College, when we revisit, we will see some strengths. Hassan or STM Udupi, places, very old institutions with so many wonderful things there. Now, in this thing, to distill everything together, because we have, you know, old family people like Parikshit here with us, we are fortunate to have a body of knowledge that recognizes three aspects, that is Tattva, Shastra, and Vyavahar. And those three elements are very, very important for us. You know, we cannot compromise one for the other. Much of the discussions that is going on with the pharmaceutical industry and the CRO is inclined more towards the Vyavahar side. And in Vyavahar, it is too far away from the Tattvas. You know, the Tattva has some deep principles that is within the domain of the ARO, the academic organizations. That is non-compromisable. And our job in this interaction is to highlight those differences between Tattva, Shastram, and Vyavaharam. And people like Rajivji are in that strong area where they can see these things, but not let it corrupt each other. Vyavahar is a very different thing. Tattva is sitting far away, light years away, you know. There, Vyavahar may not make connection with Tattva, but the academic is holding the hands of the two sides. You know. And for us, when we get 60 students or 100 students in our university, our job as a teacher is to identify those minds which will go towards Tattva, go to Shastra, go to Vyavahar. MD, when we come to MD course, then our students are inclined. If it is Kaya Chikitsa, where are they? Where do they want to go in this space? You know, is it Panchakarma? Is it Manasarog? Is it something else that specialized? So we have a responsibility in that space. And from there, we still have to find out who are the students who want to go to the CRO direction. Who are the students who will stay in the ARO area? Because it requires many, many years of specialization to see the subtleties of this thing. I want to give one example now, and this is a very difficult example. And this example is to do with this ongoing COVID thing. And I want to touch on a very topical thing where the CROs and the pharma companies are all struggling. The Moderna vaccine, which is an RNA vaccine, of Shastra mein hai nahi ye cheez. This has become a global norm now. Bachon ke liye, 23, just now, today I have just received a message, 23-year-old girl was given Moderna vaccine and is now suffering from myocarditis. She cannot walk 10 steps. अब कौन करेगा इसके ऊपर रिसर्च? तत्व वाले करेंगे, शास्त्र वाले करेंगे, व्यवहार वाले करेंगे. कौन करेगा रिसर्च इसके ऊपर? बच्चा तो बड़ा, बच्ची 23-year-old girl unnecessarily given a vaccination. अब कोई, there is no need to have given her a vaccination. And she is suffering now. अब किसके पास है इलाज इसके लिए? So these are the kind of issues that we need to get our teeth into. Ho sakta, this is a simple neuroinflammation. Very likely. Ho sakta, very simple Irandatail will solve this problem. It is very likely. We don't have a voice. Where we are lost here. Ek to vaccine, which is not part of our Shastra, which is not part of our Tattva, that has become a global norm. And there are complications. This is just one example that I want to offer here. How will we solve this problem? And there are many such problems. You know, today, before you came, Rajivji, I was saying today is we are celebrating Puranik Ji's, grandfather Puranik Ji's commemoration is going on. I hope it might have finished now in Mumbai. And there is a college associated with that. Sion College is there in Mumbai, and they are experts in making rasaushadis. The Dukha Peshwar is a very important organization for rasaushadis, and still made. There is no data for clinical research in rasaushadis. We don't know why we do Gachaputta, Sahasraputta, what is the difference? Pavanji is here who has done an MD in Rasashastra. Now, where do we begin our research? Where does that research fit in? I think that research fits in that academic domain.
Yes.
And that is in the academic area, but it doesn't stand in isolation. Gajaputta Abragbasma versus Sahasraputta Abragbasma. इसमें फर्क क्या है? Who is going to do this work? Our colleges don't have the setup for doing this work. But maybe in Sahasraputta Aushadis, Abragbasma is the answer for myocarditis. Please, Darshitji.
Sir,
Please.
there are so many Rasasastra based research are going on in Gujarat University as well. Means under my knowledge, even we do the same thing that you have mentioned, that whether it is Gajput, Rajput, Kukutput, what kind of put we used to do. We have done the research over the whether the what we can say, the biscuit that we put into the vessel, okay, whether we can do the multani mutti lap, or whether we can use the any other mitti lap over there, whether we can use the cotton. So there are so many things it's under there, but nowadays people are not more interested into the metal and the mineral processes. Okay, they because ICH guideline and WHO guideline prevent us for doing the metal mineral preparation, and we stick to the herbal parts only, where we all know that Parad, Rasraj, okay, means Pawan Sharma sir can guide us more better on the Rasraj, but even I am being a pharmacy student, I always love Rashaushadhiya, and we do so many Rashaushadhi based medicines, but here in clinical research, it is very much, we constrained. Our hands are cuffed because of the guidelines.
Sir, hello.
Rashid, so your perspective is valid, very important. This is the reason for this forum. For us in Ayurveda, in Rashastra, we feel it is a very big area, very important for the world, but we are not doing enough. So yes, this is one example. I'm just giving some examples of where we should come together as a group. And Rajivji is here. There are many, BHU has a very strong Research Shastra department. We must come together at that level. So
yes,
these are just some comments to say that we don't want gaps and biases in a group. When we come together as a group, we don't want gaps. We don't want biases.
Yes.
You might be doing CRO work for the pharmaceutical industries, for the Western pharmaceutical industries, and they might contract you to do research in a certain style. But our needs, I'll give you one very simple example. Rajiv ji, very simple example. Til tel ka moorchana kaise karte ho? Ab til tel is a central part of our formulary. अब देश में देखो तो किसी के पास नहीं है. Every state has a different procedure. मूर्छना कैसे करते हो? Some people say we don't do मूर्छना.
Yes.
या इरंड तेल का मूर्छना कैसे करते हो? इसकी standard क्या है? कैसे करते हो? How do you do this? So these are all the simple things. So Hanji, so I just want to highlight these, because only when we come together as a group can we discuss these aspects.
Yes, Rajiv sir.
और हमारी शास्त्र में we have given so many descriptions for measuring bala, how to understand the simple things. This is not major, but without knowing that, we cannot understand Swastharit, we cannot understand Dinacharya, Ritucharya, and the effect of whatever nutrition that we are recommending. We don't know how to do this. So let us, as an informal group with senior people like Vishnuji and people from around the country, we must come together, and that can happen only in an academic setting. And I feel it is our responsibility, as Rajivji says, it is our responsibility as academic people to bring these things together so that from there we can identify research projects that can become part of the ARO, that can then dialogue with the pharmaceutical industries and the bigger companies, and then can turn into something for the CROs to start to investigate. So I feel very excited that we are all here today. Thanks to Vishnuji, thanks to Pavanji, and thanks to everybody here for bringing us all together. And we have, this is not even the beginning of a journey. It is early days. We haven't even started our journey. What Darshitji has correctly highlighted, we are fortunate to have former Vice Chancellor of Gujarat Ayurveda University as the Secretary Ayush. And I think if we put our minds together, we can say many things. And that will be the start of an initiative. I was telling, my final comment is, when we look at the statistics, the funding for this work, I cited this number before, the entire health budget for India, that is all our systems put together, is less than the annual research and development budget for some of the top pharmaceutical companies. Now, it is in this setting that we have to, I will share again that information, a slide that I have. I will share that information with Pavanji, but this is the state of research in our country. What Pavanji has correctly highlighted, when they started the clinical research, nobody has time to do it. They don't understand how to do it. We don't know. We are saying we collect Panchakarma, we do Panchakarmas every day. Hundreds and hundreds of Panchakarmas are going on in many institutions every day. Ab kisi ke paas data hai hi nahi. How to get Samanya Lakshana for different treatments? No idea. We don't have the data. So, Darshiji, please, I will leave it. I leave it there, saying there is a big gap.
No, I will add into the one thing that you have suggested in the past webinars also, and today also, that we should have a forum, we should have a collective meetings in Uttarakhand. That is the Devbhumi there, where we can, meet and, develop this kind of think tank. In that, supporting you in that, I would just say one example, that in 2003, our then CM, now PM, Narendra Modi have started Vibrant Gujarat Summit in Gujarat. In 2002, he was elected, and in 2003, he has decided to do a Vibrant Gujarat Summit. That is in a small town hall in Ahmedabad. He has held this. Only 400 people at that time joined, and only 76 MOUs were done of less than 100, 200 crore. Whether he was a CM and he think that we should do this kind of thing. In 2017, the 2019 was not good, but 2017, if I may recall, there was more than 20,000 people across the 125 countries came to Gujarat, and almost 2,000 plus MOUs were done. So 2002 to 2017. Okay, so whether we can start with the few people, okay, like-minded few people in Uttarakhand, but I assure you, the slow and steadily we will join a whole new era of these Ayurvedic industries. Okay, with your blessings, sir, with Dr. Pawan Sharma sir's blessings, we can start these things and we can develop this thing. Okay, this is my humble submission.
I have one last comment to make to Rajivji. Rajivji, whenever I am sitting in a meeting and I talk about Uttarakhand, I give one example, and the most recent one was a meeting in Austria. वहाँ हमारी interaction चल रहा medical university Graz में, city में. Whenever I'm there, I tell them that the tallest peak in Austria is 3,800 meters. This is the tallest mountain peak in Austria. And I tell them there is a state in India called Uttarakhand where there are 107 or more peaks, more than 6,000 meters tall. Come to Uttarakhand. Let us join forces in Uttarakhand. Come and enjoy our mountains and let us do something of the highest quality. So we look forward to Uttarakhand University. I am in touch with Abhimanyu Kumarji, who was your former Vice Chancellor there. But we need to provide more material for these people to help them shape some thinking. And I feel we will do it in Uttarakhand. I feel excited. You have Forest Research Institute in Uttarakhand, in Dehradun. You have in Missouri, you have some very nice things there that are going on at the Lal Bahadur Shastri Center. There are many institutions there in your lovely state. And I feel we must build a few more. And together with your help, with Joshi ji's help, with Darshit's help and other people, we will establish something very humble, but very important for the whole world, not only for Ayurveda, not only for India, but for the whole world in Uttarakhand.
I look forward, sir, for a very good initiative by you expert people. सर आयुर्वेद में सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत ये है कि ज्ञान की कमी नहीं है, जैसा कि आपने बताया ना तत्व, लेकिन दिक्कत प्रैक्टिकल में है। जैसे अब्रक भस्म है, अब 30 फुट देने पे कम से कम चमक खत्म होती है, और चमक खत्म ना हो तो कलमी सोरा की भावना देके, गुड़ की भावना को देके खत्म करते हैं। लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली या फॉर्चुनेटली जो भी कहें, लेकिन कहीं भी वो चीज है नहीं, बाकायदा बस प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफाइड होके हमें मरीज को मिलता है। ऐसे ही लौह भस्म में जैसे 35 जो है सामान्य पुट हैं, 7 विशेष पुट हैं, फिर इसके बाद 60 जो पुट हैं मारण के, और इसके बाद अम्लतीकरण, लोहितीकरण। तो ये सब जो क्रियाएं हैं ये कहीं ना कहीं शॉर्टकट आ गए हैं, और शॉर्टकट को जो है खत्म कैसे करें ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है, क्योंकि ये कमर्शियल रीजन भी होते हैं इसमें। और इसमें कोई बेंचमार्क नहीं है कि किसी ने अगर 100 फुट दी और किसी ने 30 फुट दिया, और दोनों का जो है ब्रांडिंग लोग रैपर देख के खरीद रहे हैं, या डॉक्टर जिसको MR पुट अप कर रहा है। तो अच्छी चीज कैसे आए और कैसे वो मतलब आए, ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है सर। बाकी कमी कहीं नहीं है, आयुर्वेद में सब कुछ लिखा, आपके तेल के मूर्छन से लेके सबके लिए। एक जो कर रहा है वो भी सरवाइव कर रहा है, जो नहीं कर रहा है वो भी सरवाइव कर रहा है, और फार्माकोपिया जो है दोनों को परमिट कर रहा है। तो दिक्कत ये है कि कहीं ना कहीं मतलब जो ईमानदार लोग हैं कैसे सरवाइव करेंगे। जो एक भस्म को, मेरा करीब 15 साल पहले कहीं डिस्कशन हुआ था, तो करीब 1600 रुपए किलो उस जमाने में लोहे की भस्म फुट 100 फुट देने पे पड़ती थी, और 300 रुपए में फुट जो है लोग वेंडर खरीद के लाके देते थे तैयार करी हुई। तो लोग कहते थे इसको क्यों करा जाए, जिसका अपना ब्रांड है, जिसकी वो, तो कुछ ना कुछ हमें सॉल्यूशन देना पड़ेगा कि अच्छा ये है और इसका ये रिजल्ट तो फिर आ ही जाएगा अगर अच्छा कुछ होगा तो।
राजीव जी, जहाँ भी देखो, अब हमारे पास यहाँ पड़ा, ये देखो जी, छोटी सी चीज ये है, वो पेंसिल, ये जो पेंसिल है ना, ये पेंसिल की लेड, ठीक है ना जी, इसके अंदर जो लेड होती है उसकी डब्बे। अब इसके पीछे अगर जाके देखो तो इतनी रिसर्च कर रखे लोग इसके ऊपर, खाली पेंसिल का लेड है ये चीज। सो इफ वी हैव टू रीच global markets, we have to do research, and that research कहाँ पे होगा? यूनिवर्सिटियों में। तो यूनिवर्सिटी वालों की तरफ से वो we must be non-negotiable in our position. We cannot negotiate a position. अब सरस्वती वाले, we are सरस्वती वाले, no. अब लक्ष्मी वाले कुछ और करते हैं, that is their problem. अब सरस्वती वाले, when we take Saraswati Sotra, we are saying that we cannot compromise. We are controlled by the Mahagunas. Khatam. That is our, we are controlled by Mahagunas. We cannot move from the Mahagunas. Khatam.
Yes.
अब उसमें से निकाल के लाओ कि कितने पुट क्यों करना, उसमें से निकाल के लाए हम। तो that is for our university वाले।
आप तो आप्तोपदेश
हमारी तत्वों में इट इज रिटन महागुणा सत्व रजस तमस, उसकी मैथमेटिक्स हम दिखाएंगे आपको क्या है मैथमेटिक्स सत्व रजस तमस का, और वहां से अव्यक्त से व्यक्त कैसे निकलती है, वी विल शो यू द मैथमेटिक्स। कश्मीरी शैविज्म में पूरा लिख रखा 36 तत्व, शुद्ध अशुद्ध तत्व उसमें क्या है, अशुद्ध तत्व में क्या पड़ा, we have all that, and that is our guiding principle. Our guiding principle is very simple, tattva, and that is our guiding principle in the university academic domain. वहाँ पे करेंगे. So when we look at all our MD thesis, PhD thesis, we have to put a new benchmark here. इससे कम नहीं होगा. हमारी यूनिवर्सिटियों में रिसर्च जब करते हो, इसके it will not be below this standard. 30 साल की we have done a benchmarking and this is our research. अब जामनगर में Institute Postgraduate Research में we look at all the PhD thesis, MD thesis, and we draw a line saying this is the benchmark. इससे कम it will not happen in our university from now on. And this is our this must be our rule. ठीक है, व्यवहार में something else is happening, but we have to push on that side, you know, we have to demand better things from व्यवहार. It can be done, but it needs
दो चीजों का थोड़ा सा समाधान चाहता था. एक तो दर्शित जी सभी एसोसिएशंस का डाटा बना लें, कितनी आयुर्वेद की एसोसिएशंस हैं. कोरेले जी कॉलेज वाला चीज संभाल लें.
जी.
तो हम दोनों की ये जीसीपी की जो सीरीज है वो हम कॉलेज और इंडस्ट्री दोनों पे फोकस कर पाए. और हर बार उद्घाटन के लिए किसी राज्य के ड्रग कंट्रोलर या आयुष डायरेक्टर को हम बुलाएं. तो ये एक मेरा सुझाव था. आगे से आने वाली हर जीसीपी सीरीज में कोरेले जी भी गाइड करेंगे, दर्शित, परीक्षित सर तो हैं हमारे साथ. तो जो भी है हम कॉलेज और इंडस्ट्री दोनों तक पहुंचना चाहते हैं. और जो भी टॉपिक रिलीवेंट है हम लोग बैठ के 10 दिन पहले उसका प्लान कर लेंगे, जिससे डेफिनेटली हम कर सकते हैं.
बढ़िया जी, बहुत बढ़िया पवन जी, शाबाश. I have so many more things to add, but I will stop here. I have so many other things. कि कैसे अगर राजीव जी अगर हम ये भस्म की बात जो करते हैं ना, have much research going on in IIT Kharagpur, you know, they have done Tamra Bhasma or whatever Bhasma, you know, they have done Rasindur, they have looked at all these things. There is some work going on, but we must keep it in the front of our mind, understanding this thing, you know, Kajali preparation. Kajali, they say it is not of.
Excuse me, sir. We are unfortunate, sir, that our actual research, novel research, is just locked in Almiraj. That has no relation with industry, no relation with CRO. Every year, every professor is guiding PhD theses and MD theses. But those theses are not being utilized for nation's benefit. This is unfortunate. Number one.
Yes.
Number second, government has approved scheduled 52 books, 54 books. Every book says different.
51.
Ras Tarangini has allowed direct mercury to process, because he has written, Sadanand ji Maharaj has written, E-Merc company का पारा सबसे प्योर होता है. खत्म. No शुद्धिकरण, no शोधन, no मारण, direct use E-Merc company. So those are the lacunae. But in each and every book, processes are different. So industry is taking benefit of those lacunae. That is very clear.
And in that, if I may submit you that there are 51 scheduled book, and we are going for one more book, that is Vaisat Samhita. If you remember, Vaisat Samhita is being developed by state of Gondal. Gondal is a state earlier where there was a Saurashtra, and Bhagwat Singh ji is a big fan of Ayurveda, and with the help of so many physicians, they have developed a Vaisat Samhita, which is the first Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia of India. So there are so many things. As we are discussing, we get to know that we are having so many different dimensions. Like if we talk about the Bhasma, Thangavelu sir. Yes sir, you are on mute.
Darshit, our first dimension should be how to involve more students, how
Yes
to
sir.
involve more industry, how to involve more doctors or researchers into this platform. Kindly guide me how to do it. Koreleji is here, Darshit is here, Parikshit is here. How to join? And from Thangvelu sir and Vishnu Prasad sir, I would like to request, I would like to have senior researchers from abroad also. If they are doing herbal research, they will inaugurate our session and they will also share their knowledge about herbal research abroad. So that will be also a great new initiation.
But
This is
the
my
thing is that industry is more into the vyavhar than the tattvas. So
नहीं, there is,
it is.
इसमें Darshiti, that is not a problem as long as there is a minimum standard.
Oh yes.
अब racing car तो बना रहे सब कुछ. There are so many teams there, Mercedes is there, Ferrari is there, everybody is running racing teams. And that the racing team, they are fine-tuning the process. Again, carburetor is being fine-tuned, brake is being, suspension is being fine-tuned, everything is being fine-tuned. Computer systems are being fine-tuned. That is going on. But the minimum standard is there, it is a certain minimum standard is set. And that minimum standard is non-negotiable. अब जब हम तत्व की तरफ जाते हो, minimum standard cannot, there is no room for negotiating. है ही नहीं, तत्वों में है ही नहीं जगह, गलती हो ही नहीं सकता. कि महागुना 3 ही है, we cannot go wrong. वहाँ there is no question of debate. खत्म. तत्व से तत्व, there is no debate there. अब वहाँ से शुरू करके ले आओ शास्त्र की तरफ कि बताओ जी कैसे करनी है, वामन विरेचन बस्ती, what is the minimum requirement. ठीक है, वहाँ से you can go somewhere else, but start with the tattva, non-negotiables. है ही नहीं, यहाँ जगह है ही नहीं, you cannot negotiate here. खत्म. अब आगे ले चलो फिर वहाँ से. And so every time we are putting minimum standards, हर एक चीज के लिए minimum standards. अब शास्त्र will be different क्योंकि उत्तराखंड की ठंड और केरल की जो गर्मी जो है, this will be different. Shastra evolves based on the environment. So that is understood. कि तेल वहाँ तो नारियल के तेल चलता है, इस तरफ कुछ और तेल चलता है, ठीक है, उससे काम करना पड़ता है. So that is शास्त्र. अब व्यवहार is another exciting area, that is a different area. अब हमारे discussion चल रहा है स्वीडन वालों के साथ, राजीव जी. अब स्वीडन वाले पूछ रहे कि हमें सिखाओ द्रव्य गुण, और we want to understand हमारी देश में जो पौधे हैं उसके द्रव्य गुण बताओ. अब this is important. अब वहाँ लगाओ शास्त्र कि एक पौधे के 5 अंग लेके आप कैसे क्या करेंगे, इससे कषाय बनाएंगे या what will you do. इसके पत्ते है, इसके रूट है, इसके फूल है, इसके फ्रूट है, इससे 5 अंग की what is the logic behind that the Dravya Guna man uses. So you see, we have a lot of areas where there is interaction possibility, and we shouldn't miss that. When we are in a group like this, we can discuss openly, we can be strong in expressing our side of the story, and it becomes clearer. The academy wale will be sitting in the tattva, they must reinforce that place. CRO wale are sitting at the far end, interacting with the companies, the Vyavahar side, how to look at that. And somewhere here, we develop students who have a vasana for ARO kind of work, who are looking at the best of Tattva Shastra and combining it with dialogue with Vyavahar. That is your beautiful schematic, the last slide where you put the 3 triangles, the 3 circles, very, very important for us. So I will stop here, Pavanji. Bahut dhanyawad for giving me a chance to talk. I can keep talking about this, so many examples here. and we can keep expanding on this. But I hope we will stay as a group, Parikshit ji and people from Calcutta.
Sir, we are very eager to listen to you, and I can wait hours to listen to you.
परीक्षित जी यहाँ कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी में
Yes, sir.
ऊपर 4th फ्लोर लाइब्रेरी में है किताब कविराज उनके ट्रांसलेशन 1903 की ट्रांसलेशन यहाँ पढ़ा उन्होंने
अच्छा सर.
he has taken one section by one section खुद की पैसे लगा के publish करके he has sent it to all the people in the world more than 100 years ago.
Okay,
यहाँ binding करके यहाँ रखा. I will send you some photographs of this.
Okay, sir.
अब ये है commitment आपके कविराज tradition Bengal
Yes, sir.
की. And that Bengal was everything put together. It was today's West Bengal and East Bengal, everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so we are very happy that you people are holding the fort there. हमारी केरल की तरफ है tradition, पुरानी मूस tradition. वहाँ भी पढ़ा. अब राजस्थान, गुजरात की तरफ जाओ तो पूरा संस्कृत की पूरा वो पढ़ा हुआ. Panini grammar is coming out of where Pakistan is today.
Yes, sir.
So there are a lot of traditions here, but scattered in many places. And this is the way we can come together. और कहाँ ले जानी है देवभूमि?
So today only I was preparing a presentation, like for the yes, sir.
We
So
have to take all this to Devbhumi because that is where everybody went. You know, in the old days, we have to go to Dev. We don't have a choice. We have to go to Uttarakhand. So
Yes,
Rajiv ji, Joshi ji are sitting in Uttarakhand, and we have to go there. So
I belong to Devbhumi Dwarka, which is a district name of Gujarat.
So Dwarka is the other place, you know.
So from one
उत्तराखंड से गंगा सागर तक सर गंगा के किनारे ही है.
So one Devbhumi to another Devbhumi.
So Pawan ji, Vishnu ji, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you so much for here. And बहुत काम पड़ा जी आगे.
Thank you, sir.
Now I would like to salute first Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji for his great patience, for listening without telling a single word, sir. Really, really salute, sir. You are our guardian. Please involve in our discussion, sir. It is your discussion. It is not our discussion. So
when I am listening, this wonderful talk is going on, wonderful discussion is going on.
Salute, sir. Salute, Madan Thangwele ji, salute. Excellent discussion, sir.
Pawan ji, this is the power of technology कि हम बैठे यहाँ इंग्लैंड में और आप लोग बैठे कलकत्ता में और विष्णु जी बैठा गुवाहाटी में. देखो ये कैसे. So this is the power of our.
अहमदाबाद, उत्तराखंड सब एक जमीन पे है. असली देवभूमि तो ये लैपटॉप हो गई है सर.
हाँ जी.
ये लैपटॉप है.
Very true.
राजीव जी, one request, please send me your आपके फोन नंबर ईमेल थोड़ा भेज दीजिए चैट बॉक्स में कर डाले तो.
जी सर, it's my pleasure, sir.
Thank you. फिर बातचीत करेंगे जी इसकी.
And Rajiv ji is taking charge to communicate AYUSH Samriddhi to all Ayurvedic colleges. And Darshit will be taking charge to communicate our holy efforts to all industry associations. That will be a great initiative right from today. Please help and support.
Rajiv ji, one comment. I made this comment about myocarditis. बहुत समस्या है जी, बहुत कठिन समस्या.
जी सर.
यहाँ आप लोगों के पास है, आपके हाथ में पड़ा इसकी आंसर कि हृदय रोग की उस तरफ अगर देखो क्या है आपके पास हृदय रोग की कुछ है उसके अंदर which we can give people who are suffering, you know.
सर
होगा कुछ ना कुछ.
नहीं है सर. हृदयारोहण रस और प्रभाकर बटी, पुष्कर गुगलू एंड पुनर्मास्टक का जो पुष्कर इज द इनुला रेशुमोजा. That is wonderful drug for every cardiac basic problem.
अब केरल की तरफ लोग कहते हैं कि अगस्त्य रसायन में कुछ है और
नहीं सर अगस्त रसायन इज मीन फॉर पंचकाश, 5 प्रकार की काश की ड्रग ऑफ चॉइस है।
अच्छा ठीक है।
तो इसके लिए पुष्कर गुगलू एंड पुष्कर इनुला रेसिमोजा इज द वन ऑफ द बेस्ट ड्रग फॉर कार्डियक डिजीज। और आयुर्वेद में चरक ने कहा है अम्ल द्रव्यम हृदय नाम, मतलब कोई भी जो अम्ल रस रहता है, स्पेशली डार्डिम हुआ या आंवला है, आंवला इज ऑल्सो बेस्ट फॉर कार्डियक प्रॉब्लम। सो एनी अम्ल द्रव्य इज वेरी बेनिफिशियल फॉर कार्डियक प्रॉब्लम।
इसमें आंवला की रसायन is it a possibility also? खाली आंवला की?
Yes. I will search some literature review. Thereafter, I will share some important drug for particular problem.
Sure. Thank you.
Cardiac pain.
Now I would like to हाँ वो मैं विष्णु प्रसाद शर्मा जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा इस विषय में, क्योंकि वो काय चिकित्सा के हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट रहे हैं, क्लिनिशियन रहे हैं, तो वो मायोकार्डाइटिस पे सर का क्या व्यू है?
हाँ वही है कार्डियक पेन पर जो इनुला रेसिमोसा है ना, पुष्कर मूल,
हाँ जी पुष्कर मूल
वो ज्यादा यूज करते हैं। एनी टाइप ऑफ कार्डियक पेन यस वी कैन यूज पुष्कर मूल। देन अर्जुना टू मेक स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द हार्ट, देन हिडायना ब्रॉस इफ कार्डियक फेलियर इज देयर, देन at that time we can use Hidayana Bros, Prabhakar Boti, like that.
इसमें BHU के SN त्रिपाठी जी ने रिसर्च की थी। ये पुष्कर गुगुलू उन्होंने बनाया वहां के फॉर्मुलेशन पे, जिसमें उनके लड़कों ने सूर्या फार्मेसी खोली, उसमें एथरोसिड एक दवा बनाई, और सेम चीज की रिसर्च शर्मा HS शर्मा या HP शर्मा USA में की थी ब्राह्म रसायन पे, जिसका नाम महर्षि ने अमृत कलश दिया। अमृत कलश की एक पूरी किट है जो इस पे काम करती है, और ये USA में प्रूव हो चुका है अमृत कलश।
हाँ, it is a very good medicine, अमृत कलश।
Yes,
More antioxidant properties is there.
MAC4, MAC5, MAK4 and MAK5.
Yes, that is Maharishi Amrit Kalash.
Amrit Kalash.
Sir, one reference I was going through today, like the preparations with snake venom have very good effect on reducing pains, even in cancer pains also. And as I am going through some literature today, because I had a presentation on the Vaidya Parampara in Bengal. So from my family, we have a reference of a medicine formulation with cobra venom, which is actually used in rheumatoid arthritis and which can be used in cancer pains like that.
Sir, hello.
And yes, sir.
हाँ जी
सर, एक अपना सीवक थॉर्न आता है जो बद्री में होता है, तो इसके सीड का प्रयोग करते हैं। दैट इज वंडरफुल, वेरी वंडरफुल ड्रग, और इसको एक्सप्लोर करने की जरूरत है। इट इज रियली अमेजिंग ड्रग सर।
ये देखो दर्शित जी, 5 मिनट में आ गया आपका पूरा 20 साल का CRO वर्क। So
yes.
एक्चुअली सर मेरा ये कहना है ना कि आयुर्वेद का जो तत्व है, तत्व में कहीं भी हम मेडिकल मार्कर को डायरेक्ट प्रयोग ना करें, इसीलिए बीनम से लेके जो भी चीजें हैं वो डायरेक्टली इंडिकेटेड नहीं है, बिकॉज हमने एक एज ए होल और एज ए बल्क ड्रग को देना चाहिए, और उसके बहुत सारे नुकसान हैं। जब हम फाइटोफार्मास्यूटिकल बना देते हैं तो उसको हमें अवॉइड करना चाहिए। फर्स्ट हैंड पे हमने बल्क ड्रग से ही कोशिश करनी चाहिए। इट इज माय पर्सनल सबमिशन।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। Too much purification will lead to problems. This is a so anyway. ये पवन जी, thank you so much. बहुत very exciting. परीक्षित जी, please send, if you share your phone number, then I'm interested. ये जो snake venom की जो बात आपने बताया, I just want to discuss a little more.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'll send it. Just I'm sending my details to you.
Thank you.
सर आपका मोबाइल नंबर इसमें मिल जाएगा सर? चैट बॉक्स में?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, अभी अभी
जी
राजीव जी, आई एम जस्ट पुटिंग, अभी अभी भेज दूँ चैट में।
जी सर, और शर्मा सर का भी सर चाहिए।
हाँ, विष्णु जी का भी ले लो। राजीव जी, बच्चों को पकड़ना, अब
जी सर,
बच्चों को पकड़ के थोड़ा दिखानी है रास्ता।
सर मैं तो सर इतना बड़ा इंडस्ट्री की लाइफ छोड़ के सिर्फ इसीलिए आया कि बच्चों को और अपने जो नई पीढ़ी है इसको अपडेट करना, क्योंकि मैं अच्छी टॉप पोजीशन नहीं रहा यहाँ पे।
उनमें वो पता नहीं वो कॉन्फिडेंस कहाँ चला गया, है ही नहीं कॉन्फिडेंस।
नहीं सर, हमारे जो साथ वाले जो टीचर्स हैं उनको रिसर्च तो कराते नहीं, उन्हें पता नहीं कि क्या कराना है, मतलब जो नेशनल इंटरनेशनल प्रोटोकॉल रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या हैं। तो बच्चे तो अपना थीसिस सबमिट कर देते हैं, लेकिन उसी में से जो 4 एसेंशियल टेस्ट हैं या क्रिटिकल टेस्ट हैं उस पर काम नहीं हो पाता और वो सब बेकार हो जाता है। तो आज की डेट में ये बेसिक जो अगर जरूरत ये है कि हमारी जो रूट है एजुकेशन, इसको ही नरेश होने की जरूरत है सबसे ज्यादा।
इसमें जी राजीव जी, इसमें जो बात हम चल रहा है कि CRO, ARO, अगर उस तरफ थोड़ा ध्यान दें, we can have research-led education. This is the strength of the leading universities की strength ये है कि education जो fundamental चीज that you are teaching is led from the research direction. Understanding अमूर्त दोष, वात की थोड़ा सोच लगाओ इसके ऊपर, how will you measure वात? We say it is अमूर्त। अब इसकी कैसे करेंगे आप, माप कैसे करेंगे? अब जब उस तरफ थोड़ा सोच चलता है ना कि अमूर्त की मतलब क्या है, what is the etymology of this word अमूर्त? Formless क्या हो सकती है? अब वहां से जब शुरू होती है ना, the whole canvas opens up. The importance of understanding अमूर्त दोष. How does it affect
एक टॉपिक पे अपना प्लान डेफिनेटली करते रहेंगे सर, डेफिनेटली आपका कहना बिल्कुल सही है। So now I would like to request Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji for his concluding remarks.
Okay, namaskar. Respected Professor Madan Thangavalu ji, respected Dr. Rajiv ji, Dr. Pawan Kumar Sharma ji, dear eminent, distinguished speaker and learned audience. It was a pleasure listening to such a insightful talk on importance of contract research organization from eminent speaker. Therefore, today's talk on importance contract research organization was significant in several ways. First of all, I offer my sincere thanks to Madan Thangavalu for his advice and wonderful suggestion. Thank you, Professor Dr. Madan Thangavalu. Next, I would like to offer sincere thanks to Dr. Pawan Kumar Sharma ji for organizing very wonderful webinar. Next, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to eminent speaker, Dr. Dhiras Patil. He nicely described role of contract research organization, nicely described CRO, role and responsibility of CRO. So thank you, Dr. Dhiras Patil, for your excellent talk. Next, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Dr. Parikshit Devnath for excellent talk. Next, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Dorshit Joshi for his talk on clinical research, especially Ayurveda. He nicely described the clinical data management, everything. Thank you, Dr. Dorshit Joshi, for your wonderful talk. Next, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Dr. Rajiv ji for your kind advice and good suggestion. Thank you. Namaskar. Namaskar.
प्रणाम सर, प्रणाम।
Pranam. Pranam. I send my email and this
कल जरूर जुड़िएगा। कल के लिए सबसे प्रार्थना है, कल 200वीं वेबिनार है, संस्कृत श्लोक के रिसाइटेशन की है, कृपा कर जरूर जुड़े।
हाँ,
3:45 कल शाम को 3:45।
ठीक है,
धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू। ओके, थैंक यू।
हरिओम।
सर रक्षाबंधन
हरिओम। हाँ,
हाँ,
नमस्कार।
रक्षाबंधन। रक्षाबंधन की अग्रिम शुभकामनाएं सभी को। अग्रिम
ये सर आयुर्वेद बंधन के रूप में वेबिनार की सीरीज में देख पा रहा हूँ कि आयुर्वेद को आपने जोड़ने का काम किया अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म पे।
नहीं, बिल्कुल ये काम आपका ही है। हम तो आज सूत्रधार हैं, मालाओं के मन के तो आप हैं, हीरे आप हैं, मोती आप हैं। मैं तो एक अंदर का धागा हूँ, बस वो धागा बना रहना चाहता हूँ।
आज धागे की जरूरत है सर, आज धागे की जरूरत है। आयुर्वेद में मोती तो बहुत है, हीरे भी बहुत हैं, सबको जोड़ने वाले की जरूरत है।